Hey everybody, Jim Chester coming to you live here. I have Dr. Mark DeBrincat here with me. This guy is full of life, and not just any life, he's full of box life. Right. And we're coming to you live here from East Brunswick, New Jersey at the Genesis Pediatric Conference. And before we jump into this interview talking about box life and brain mapping and the technology involved with the business that you are an advocate for, let's talk a little bit about Stu and Terry Warner and what it means to be a part of this movement out here in New Jersey this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so I've known Stu and Terry since I was 25 years ago, back when we were in school together. And it's just so refreshing to see people that are so passionate for the cause of chiropractic and for helping the children. I mean, there's so many children that need chiropractic that don't know about chiropractic. And so to be around such chiropractic greats, I mean, this event has been so special. There's so many amazing speakers here that we've been following for decades, and they pour their heart into this conference because it's so important that the pediatric chiropractors stay in business, for one, but also there's so many kids out there that are unnecessarily suffering, being medicated, being pushed aside and being controlled by substances that is completely unnecessary. So when we're around a lot of people that are sharing all of their concerns, their comments, their stories, their history, the amazing breakthroughs they have with these kids, it's that ounce of inspiration that they're giving us that's going to give every one of these doctors in the audience 100 gallons of perspiration to go out there and find the people that need to be helped. And so, these conferences lift us up, they inspire us, they encourage us, and they get us thinking about all the things that we're not doing in our current practice that we should be doing, and how we can actually impact the lives of so many more people that we're just not getting there.
You heard it from him right there. There's so much impact that we're coming together as this, I like to call it like the University of Minds. Yeah. Like we've all come together from our different corners of the earth, and we've all done our daily bootstrapping to see what we did with our educations, what we did with our friendships, what we did with our careers, and to culminate that all here together, it is a University of Mind. And to see some of these leaders like Ted Carrick speak from the stage, Deed Harrison speak from the stage, we have some of the amazing thought leaders in this profession that are all out here supporting each other, not just for the sake of chiropractic, but for children in chiropractic.
For chiropractic, just for our profession. It's so important that we keep this alive and vibrant. And another thing about this conference that I really noticed difference from other conferences is the people that are attending this one, they're open-minded, they're here to learn, they're here to share. It's not skepticism as they're going through the different booths here and the different products and things that people are sharing. A lot of these conferences, people kind of just run right past the booth, don't want to talk to anybody, they're closed-minded, they're signing in, they're ditching and leaving and coming back at the end of the day to get their credits. This is a different crew altogether. These people are here, they're interesting, they're interested in us, and they're so thankful that we're here supporting this cause and that we're diamond sponsors for this event, and I've gotten so many people thanking us for doing that, and without the sponsors to do these types of events, they just don't happen. And so it's real people in a real place getting real education that's going to radically change their course of life this next year in their practice. And we need this. We need to get fed, and we're not getting fed. I love how Carrick talked on the stage the other day, and I'm not going to be able to say verbatim what he said, but it was something to the extent of, you've been in practice over 10 years, you're right back where you started, because you haven't learned anything new now, and if you've been in practice 20 years, you're probably useless because you're not doing anything that we've found is beneficial nowadays. People get stuck in their old ways and patterns, and there's a lot of people that are just going through the motions as a chiropractor, and they're not staying in touch with all the new technology out there and the new things that are enhancing our practice, enhancing our patients, teaching us how to get them better quicker and keep them well. And after all, if you're a principal chiropractor, you better have that philosophy, because I want to do anything I can to get you better as quick as possible and keep you well. And that's the energy in the crowd here at this conference. I love it.
And the thing that you mentioned there is we're in a sicker culture than we've ever been in our entire life. 100%. And we have so many forces of
EMF,
you name
chemicals,
it, you
toxins,
name it. Thoughts, traumas, toxins, which are old school.
Yeah.
But now we have all of the different things, technology. Thoughts, traumas, toxins, technology. And I saw somebody speak recently that talked about this nursing home posture. and how that our posture changes with our tech use, and then we start to become this digital dementia. So I saw you testing some people earlier on their balance and like checking out what's going on with their like physiology, with their strength. I know that Vox Life is something that you figured out. It's almost like a biohack. Let's talk a little bit about the company and why the technology is working.
Okay, so Jay Dollywall is the creator and the founder of Vox Life, and his story is real simple. He was just a kid who wanted to help his mom. When he was 13 years old, his mother got progressive MS, and within 18 months she went from superhero mom with a cape on her back to wheelchair bound, and then he was responsible for taking care of mom and his siblings. And so he had to grow up real quick and realize that, you know, your health is a fragile gift, and you could lose it just like that. So his background, as he became a man and grew up, turned into data encryption engineer. So he was out in Silicon Valley and encrypting data for a lot of startup companies. And then he made an extraordinary amount of wealth at a very young age. And with that, he decided to take his mom all around the world trying to find the fix. How am I going to cure mom? How are we going to help her? There has to be somebody out there that can help her. And he just kept getting the same story, like, hey, sorry about your luck. There's nothing we can do. It's like this black box disease that nobody knows how to help. And so he started just doing his own research and night after night looking at studies online, and found several studies that people had a major breakthrough and then never went anywhere with it. It just kind of stopped there and it sat in a silo somewhere. So he was able to assess all these different things that he had found, kind of put the missing pieces together and come up with a code that is a way of tactile and vibrotactile proprioception on the bottom of the foot that directly ties to the brainstem. And with the way that it's being touched in a certain fashion, it literally does a Control-Alt-Delete. It opens up the brainstem from the inside. And what we're seeing is about 36% on average more efficient information flow in and out of the brain. Now that's tremendous. And so the brainstem is responsible for posture and balance. So the simple test we do is a tilt test. We have somebody stand there and act real strong, and then we lift their hand up towards the ceiling and they fall over to the side. Okay, we say try to prevent that from happening. And then we do a dynamic test where they're swaying forward and backward and try to keep them stop doing that. And then we put our tech on them, and you're literally 8 times stronger immediately. And it's like I can pull as hard as I can and not budge them. So they're experiencing the actual product. And the brainstem, it is experienced on 100% of everybody. We put out 2 studies this last year on over 6,000 maps that we've done to prove that the brainstem was 99.9% of the people had significant change in brainstem activity, which is tremendous. And the people that published it have never published anything over 95% success rate. So this was a really freak of nature that we found a certain biohack that is this powerful. So the company has insoles, it has socks, and then we've even upgraded to patches and underwear that have our tech built into them, so you can literally keep the tech on you 24/7. And at the end of this year, we're actually publishing another study on the long-term use of our product. So what we've found is that people have worn the product day and night for over 8 months. It's like doing neurofeedback and bringing your brain back online on trickle charge all day long. And so I specialize in brain mapping and neurofeedback for trauma patients, brain and spinal trauma, and these people are devastated. They're told you're never going to walk again. I was one of those patients, and all this technology that I have found along the course of my journey gave me one breakthrough after another after another. So I've always seeked out products like this. And ironically, one of my brain damaged patients is the one that gave it to me. He says, hey, you got to give these to all your patients. They're brain socks. And I kind of laughed. And then eventually I went home and mapped myself, put the socks on just to validate that they didn't work, that they weren't actual brain socks. And when I saw the results, it was a 48% better brain function. I literally fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought I made a mistake. I deleted it all, uploaded it again to find out it was real. And then within just a week, I met Jay Dollywall, the inventor of this, because I couldn't sleep. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And within a week after that, I became the vice president of the company in charge of clinical strategy. So with that, we've done 6,000 brain maps with and without this tech. We've been able to impact over 4 million people in just 3 years. We have a Facebook page that has 43,000 videos of people with all sorts of neurological conditions like Parkinson's. Step on our insoles and they calm right down. Step off and they're a mess again. And it's like, how is this working? People just start crying. It's the most amazing thing to have somebody get a breakthrough in their health, and especially a limitation, a physical limitation that they can't do. When we see them come back to life, there's no money you can pay to give you that feeling of changing the heart and life of somebody's future because you just gave them their freedom back. It is such a joy to be part of a company that's so much bigger than myself or any one of us. And the fact that his whole mission is not trying to make money and sell this company. His whole mission is trying to help 1 billion people. He's been offered hundreds of millions of dollars for this company, and if somebody was greedy, they would have taken it. But it's not. That's not what's driving him. He feels obligated that God gave him this tech, and that he needs to give it to God's people. And so he is so passionate about working with chiropractors because we understand the above, down, inside, out, and that's where healing comes from, period. Vox is not healing you. Vox is opening up the channel, like getting a good toggle adjustment. I'm not saying it's replacing an adjustment at all, but it's comparable. You get an adjustment, take the pressure off the brainstem, amazing things happen and change in our body. Okay, this is a way of taking tension and pressure off the brainstem from the inside and allowing us to experience more of our life the way God intended us to experience our life, fully and rich, right?
Brilliant. Like, I very seldom become lost for words because somebody's so articulate about the passion project that they're involved in. And I pay attention, as you notice. I analyze what everybody's doing in the industry. I'm a good oracle, if you will, for understanding who's doing what and how the chess pieces are laid out there. And I watch what you guys are doing, and I fell in love with Jay. Like, I actually told Jay when I interviewed him that he was one of my heroes. And I'm very seldom that, like, fanboy,
right.
But I was like so blown away, and I've been wearing the socks now for over a year, and I just fell in love with like the design of the technology. But not only that, they're pretty stylish too. You guys have done a great job of like branding it into the chiropractic space. I have DD Palmer socks. Are you kidding me? I have BJ Palmer socks. You know how many times I go to an event and I show a chiropractor my socks, and they're like, "How do I get a pair of those?" And I'm like, "I think they're exclusive,
limited edition."
But when we think about the impact that you guys are making on a global scale, giving people their ability to just be themselves, that's something that's really special. And that's what I fell in love with chiropractic for, is chiropractic gives people the ability to just go back to being themselves. And nobody wants to like see somebody have a less like degraded quality of life. We want to support each other. We want to see people have a higher standard of living. We want to see this like phraseology of human performance. We want to be the biohack for human performance, and that's what chiropractic's been doing for a long time. But now we are branding it the right way, saying, hey, it's not about how sick you are, it's about how healthy you are. And why would you want to be in a sick care paradigm when you can be in a health care paradigm? Why wouldn't you want to eat right? Why wouldn't you want to exercise? Why wouldn't you want to take care of yourself with your thoughts and make sure that you're emotionally stable and all these things? Like I was talking to a guy earlier, I'm like, depression, that was like a time of our nation when we didn't have any money. Like, it's not a feeling. It's not a
you're supposed to be living now.
Yeah. So when I think about these things, we've rephrased it. We have to just pay attention to when we're like actually building a culture. Like our culture is starving for the truth. And I know that that's what I fell in love with chiropractic. That's what I fell in love with your brand for. And I know that everybody out there needs to get onto the Vox Life plan and get a pair of socks, or like you said, underwear, whatever it might be, the patches, whatever it might be. But I think the technology is going to change the landscape of the way that people remain balanced, and then the way that chiropractors can actually start helping people that are like the limitations of matter. Like there is a real limitation of the matter, and sometimes people come into you like they're full of garbage and beat up, and like their bodies are broken. Like
where do we start?
Yeah,
there's so much going on with this person.
And then you look at the osteophytes and the thinning of the discs and like the neuropathy going on. It's like, what do I do with this person? You should have come in here 30 years ago before you came in with this mess of a body that you have now. But now this is a solution to help giving some resolve to these people that need it the most.
Sure. And not only that, it's literally become the standard of care for all types of doctors. Chiropractors we're the most in alignment with because we have the same philosophy of the body healing itself, above, down, inside, out. But literally, whether it's a back surgeon, a dentist, a podiatrist, a gut doctor, endocrinologist, they're all putting the sock on the patient day one, saying that, listen, we need to help you express a better expression of your nervous system, and this is going to help you neurologically. So whatever treatments and protocols we're going to do with you, it's going to be more well received, and we're going to literally get you better faster. And that's why they're coming to us, because we know how to look at the whole you and then address the things that matter most. And when we have a tool that we can literally just put on a patient on day one, and they start feeling more at ease, more calm, more energy, they feel their pain disappearing, they know they're in the right place. And this is a product that, as you have it in your practice, patients aren't going to just buy one, they're going to grab 7 or 10 pairs, so they're successful every day, and they always have what they need. And then they come back by the groves with friends of theirs saying, this is the guy that has the magic socks. And then when they're in the office and they're picking up socks, they're like, man, I really like this office. I love the energy in here. Staff is so friendly. People are getting new patients left and right because of a simple pair of socks that they're offering to the community. And it separates them from the rest of the community. Now they have something that can literally help everybody. And it doesn't even have to be the doctor that gives it to the patient. The patients are coming and grabbing extras for their friends. They're going home and they're demoing their friends after being demoed one time on the product, and they're effectively demoing somebody else. That's also not really heard of in the industry, that you can hear information from a doctor, go home and give it to your spouse in the same form that you got it. Right? We're like, I wish my spouse was here to hear everything you just said about how bad my back and neck is, because they're going to need to understand that in order to pay the check, right? And so to have something that's so easily transferable is just so exciting. And it's literally impacting the community. The community is going to know you for who you are and your specialties, but they're going to appreciate the fact that you allow a service like this to be in your office, and you're not afraid of getting people better faster.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's not a replacement for chiropractic. It's an enhancement of all people. So it's not just somebody that has a condition. It's for somebody that wants to be optimized. So elite athletes, I'm sure they're getting better results. I'm sure people that are already all tuned up and feeling good about life are getting better results. People are already practicing good holistic lifestyles. They're adding this into their life. So it's not just for the severely injured or those that are decrepit and broke down. It's actually going to help people like myself that are good standing people that have good quality of lives and make us just better.
Absolutely. On top of that, we already have professional NHL teams using it, baseball players, football players. I was really blessed to go to the X Games last year and be able to map all the athletes that were doing the Winter Olympics or the Winter X Games. And we actually put our tech on a gentleman from Finland who won the gold right after we did that. So he was super excited. He says that every time he gets up close to going, he gets third in line and he starts getting butterflies. When he's second in line, his palms start sweating, and then he's a nervous wreck by the time he's getting ready to go. And he says, I was third in line and I felt nothing, and I forgot I was wearing the tech. And then I was second in line and I felt nothing, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, do I even like snowboarding anymore? What's the matter with me? And then the guy's like, hey buddy, are you going? He's like, oh, okay. And he jumped and went and literally won the gold medal. So he was super, super excited that it's just taking the extremes of whatever expression of your nervous system, and it's calming it down or waking it up. It's bringing it right back to homeostasis where you're supposed to be, and you should have reserve to be able to deal with the things that get thrown at you in life. And so this is just one of those simple tools that by implementing it into your wardrobe, you're covered every day of the life. And for the rest of your life, your brain's getting better each day, not slowly degenerating. And that's what it's all about. Be the best person you can be for as long as you can be it, because you have no other choice. You really don't. Your quality of life is everything. I used to say that your physical health is your number one asset in life. Without it, you have nothing. After being disabled for so many years, I kind of changed my tune and says your mental health is your number one asset in life. I was okay with not being able to walk again, but not okay with not being able to read a sentence and make common sense out of it. And so this is something, again, like I mentioned, any extreme in the nervous system, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, you're going to see an immediate change within 10 seconds of putting our tech on you. And that is what's worth writing home about.
Dr. Mark, thank you so much for sharing about Vox Life and your passion project. I absolutely adore what you guys are doing. It's such an amazing opportunity to hear real life experiences of people that are changing the world. And it's not very often that I interview anybody that's not changing the world, but the way you guys are doing it, you're making it more common for the average person to be able to have access to world-changing technology. So I just want to say thank you for doing everything you do, man. And I'm going to close out by saying if you guys are looking for digital help in the chiropractic space, Local Gold has co-branded this booth here with me, supporting this Genesis Pediatric Conference as a sponsor out here, and I have as well with Chiro Hustle. If you guys want to have an audit done on your digital presence online, reach out to Natalie at localgold.com. If you guys haven't checked out Chiro Hustle, please come over to our website, check out chirohustle.com, listen to episode 100. You guys can get a chance to listen to Luke and myself, the founders of our business, and listen to why we started doing what we do. So it's all about the story, and thank you for sharing your story today. I'm going to close out one more time by saying thank you to Terry and Stu Warner for bringing us all together under this big roof to have a big chiropractic family. And you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you guys on the next one.